Spend a very relaxing weekend in the kitchen with me, seeing all the wild animals, wandering through our yard, making a delicious keto carrot cake, super easy pepperoni pot roast, and cleaning the kitchen windows. I hope your Labor Day weekend is full of everything you wish it to be. I hope you enjoy this video, and comment with an American flag emoji if you're a hardworking, proud American who's enjoying this 3-day weekend. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica Miller. I live just outside of Nashville, Tennessee with my husband of 16 years, Gary, and our border collie, Percy. Here on this channel, I'll take you into our home and into my simple yet fun-filled life. You can find me here at the house or yard, bringing motivation to the mundane. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. I wanted to share a little tip when visiting YouTube channels you enjoy. You can view all YouTube videos created from first to newest by visiting the main page, scrolling over to videos, then scrolling down to the very bottom of the page to see videos in chronological order, with the oldest being at the bottom and newest on top. Even though we don't have any horses, chickens, goats, pigs, or any other various animals boarded here currently, our yard still attracts all the wild animals. You just never know what you may see wandering up the driveway, outside the window. We have this little fox who lives somewhere in this yard, and I see him just about once a month now. Occasionally, this huge flock of turkeys will come through the yard, and they just take over the entire yard. They just come through occasionally, and I don't know where they live, but somewhere around here. Down by the pond, we have some geese, and evidently they have 2 little babies, which I just discovered this past spring. I think they've made our field home, and down by the pond and under the rocks, sometime I'll have to show you a tour of our entire yard down there so you can see where they're all living. And then, of course, we have this baby deer. He's here just about every day. I think he thinks he's a dog. Sometimes, occasionally, we'll find him down the road just wandering and drinking out of the neighbor's bird bath. So he's definitely made himself very at home. I don't know if it is a girl or a boy, but very friendly. This past July, we lost my 94-year-old mother-in-law, Gladys Miller Boaz, and I don't even know if I could describe what we're missing without her. I don't think words could describe it. She is pure joy, the most Christian woman. She is definitely a light. She was a light in the world, and there are so many people who've been moved and touched by her. Every single person has a story, so many stories of the way that she moved their lives in different ways. And there's still so much to be celebrated, here on earth. But we know in heaven she's just having a ball with all of her friends and family who've gone before her. So my way of grieving was making different recipes and just eating a lot more. So I'm going to show you how I made this keto carrot cake. It turned out amazing. So today I'm making keto carrot cake with almond flour, and I'm just doubling the recipe. So I have, this is for the frosting, the cream cheese frosting, the cream cheese, sour cream, butter, powdered sugar, free sugar. And then here I have the butter melted with the vanilla, my carrots, and then Truvia granulated sugar and brown sugar, nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves here in this area. And then I've got baking powder, baking soda, and Himalayan salt. And then I'm just gonna sift the dry ingredients into this bowl. I also have almond flour right here, which is gonna be the flour we use. And I'm gonna do 1.5 cups. Okay, so 3 cups of that to be doubled. Here's my almond flour. Now I'm gonna do the granulated sugar, the brown sugar, the cloves and cinnamon, baking powder. So this is all the dry ingredients, and my Himalayan salt. So there are my keto dry ingredients. Now I'm just gonna mix this up and sift it into this bowl. This bowl is where I'll have my wet ingredients. So I'll show you what I use for that. One more thing I'm adding is pecans to the dry ingredients, but I toasted them a little bit to bring out the flavor. So I'll show you what that turns out to be like in just a minute here. I mixed all my dry ingredients together, and now I'm just letting that kind of mix it a little bit more. And then over here, I've got 8 eggs that I've mixed up already, just to kind of give it a little mix. And I'm gonna put all my wet ingredients in here. Whoops. I'm actually gonna put my phone down and I'll show you in a minute what this turns out to look like. This is the butter and vanilla. That's gonna be quite an orange cake because the carrots, I mixed them with the, the food processor over here. So they're kind of more pureed a little bit, but I think it's gonna be delicious either way. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the wet ingredients to the dry. I'll turn this off. And just kind of, you know what I'm gonna do? Keep it on. And just keep it going and slowly add it to the dry ingredients. Not that slowly. Now I've got my toasted pecans that I toasted up and then processed a little bit in the food processor. Just gonna add all that in there. Mix it all together. It's gonna be very nutty and carroty and almond floury. But it's keto, y'all, it's keto. So I just poured them in these tin pans because it's just easier to carry. I'm just gonna go ahead and cook these now, I think for about 30 minutes. So this is the sugar-free cream cheese frosting. It's butter, a little bit of sour cream, whipped cream cheese, and then I'm gonna add this over here. I'm making a total mess in here. I'm gonna add this sugar-free powdered monk fruit sweetener. It's 1 cup, yes, for the frosting. And I got my cakes in the oven cooking on 350 for about 30 minutes. All right, so these came out of the oven and I made a little tiny piece for myself on a separate sheet and it was to die for, so. Within this same month, we also lost our service manager, Big Country. Well, didn't lose him, he's still here, but he went to go farming with his son. So he left Skyworks and it was just a very sad month. Anyway, I made this keto cake for him because he's kind of doing the low carb diet and I wanted to make something that he could eat. So later that night, I toasted up the pecans and then I'm going to top these cream cheese frosting cakes with the pecans. Oh my gosh, I wanted to eat the whole thing, but I could not. I had to get it to him so I wouldn't. Okay, so this is the finished product. It's just a bunch of toasted pecans on top. If you could smell it, you would understand why I just want to eat the whole thing right now. But you know what? You just have to make it. It is absolutely amazing. Might not look so glorious and beautiful, but it's just easier to transport like this. So the next day I woke up and started my peppercini pot roast. So I start with this chuck roast, pot roast from Publix, and then I have juice and ranch powder mixed with a little peppercini juice, and then I'm gonna put about 5 pepperoncinis in there. And then over here, I'm just cooking this in butter. So I'll show you kind of what I do. I just brown all the sides, and then I'm gonna put it in my crock pot. So that's all I'm doing is just getting a little brown on it. So I can put it in the crock pot and it'll be browned. So the butter will also be brown. This is 1 stick of butter. And then I'm just taking it and getting all the sides real quick before I put it in the crock pot. And take that kind of brown butter and pour it into my seasonings over here. I can hold the phone and this. So then I just put the pepperoncinis with a little juice in there, and then I'm gonna let it cook for about 8 to 10 hours. And our roast is looking amazing. If you could smell this. I mean, just look at that. Amazing. If you could just smell it though, you would really understand. This crock pot is so old. The handle's even broke. It's just nasty, but this cooks better than any crock pot that I've gotten that's new. What I'm gonna do is just clean these 2 windows right here. I already started these 2, but I didn't get outside, the tops outside yet. So you probably can't even see it in this video, but you can see it in real life. They're just not clean, and I want it to look clean. So, and I'm gonna trade out, these are kind of worn out. I like the soap container. I just want it to be glass where it's a little heavy duty, a little bit more heavy duty. And then this one too over here. And I want to show you Big Country and his wife Mandy gave us some, look how sweet. All these peppers. Gary's gonna make all these jalapenos, and I think he's gonna make a recipe that my mom makes where you stuff them with sausage. And then we've got more here. Isn't that so nice? You give to them, and then they give back way more than what you even gave. So look at all these tomatoes. Is that not amazing? Big Country and Mandy. Big Country King is his name. Nick King is his real name. But we like to call him Big Country because that's his name. These are, oh my goodness. And Mandy, and look at what they've done. Oh my goodness. Okay. And green peppers. Green peppers. And I just had one and it was delicious. So, all right, now I'm gonna get to cleaning these windows. And then I'm gonna clean this window too, back here. Oh, and I wanted to show you back here real quick. You've got to see. I've got all this creeping Jenny back here. And we went through kind of a drought this past month, and it turned black, and then look, it's already growing new creeping Jenny growth over that. So, and those aren't looking great. The hydrangeas are just not really doing great, but look at that hydrangea back there. That one was the one that used to be on our front porch. But I moved it because it was getting way too big. So now that's the perfect spot. And then look at the crepe myrtle that we planted last year. I don't know if you remember when I planted that in a video from 2023. It's looking amazing. And our August tree continues to be bold and beautiful. So I'm very grateful for the way this looks back here.
I wish I had a little more time with you, baby. Time to figure out what this could be. I dreamt of a life in a small town that wasn't enough for you somehow. I just wish I had a little more time with you, baby. Weeks and months and years they pass, and I knew it wouldn't last. When tears streamed down my face, my mama said, all the nights that end in heartbreak gonna pay off someday. And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love, giving your all might not be enough. Just trust your head and your heart, that's what my mama said. I wish I could freeze this moment, just never let it end. Walking through the snow when you're taking my hand. All of those late nights on your couch when we just talked until midnight. I just wish I could freeze this moment, babe. Weeks and months and years they pass, and I knew it wouldn't last. When tears streamed down my face, my mama said, all the nights that end in heartbreak gonna pay off someday. And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love, giving your all might not be enough. Just trust your head and your heart, that's what my mama said. Weeks and months and years they passed, but then I found something I knew would last. Just like my mama said. Gradually fades away. All the nights that end in heartbreak gonna pay off someday. And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love, giving your all might not be enough. Just trust your head and your heart, that's what my mama said. That's what my mama said. That's what my mama said.
So this past month and a half, I've learned that the thing about grieving is everyone grieves differently. I've found comfort in cooking and eating and rewatching videos and re-listening to voicemails and recordings of my mother-in-law Gladys. I found comfort in red cardinals and the wild animals that wander through our yard, and listening to people's testimonies and stories of deliverance and being saved on YouTube.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you, you don't even notice. Should've told you straight away, you don't have to be afraid.
I've watched It's a Miracle reruns. I don't know if you remember that show, but It is very, very amazing. It talks about people who have gone to heaven and then come back to earth. So it's just an amazing show called It's a Miracle, or they've seen angels, and I'm just really into that stuff. So anyway, it was like through surgeries or accidents, a lot of the people have come back to life, and I just got really into that. So it's kind of funny because whenever we lose a loved one, it's comforting to see stories about heaven. And it's very scary to see people who had to go through a deliverance. And this is kind of a new word to me because I never knew what that meant. I've heard people talk about it, but it wasn't until my mother-in-law passed away and I started researching all these different stories on YouTube. But these are all the things I've never heard of until I started scrolling on YouTube and learning that people go through these things. So what was funny is it scared me enough to quit reading my horoscopes. That's something I would do every so often just for entertainment, but I'm definitely scared of some of the things going on in the world these days. And I think that it's a good thing to put trust in God during these times, because I know that humans are not going to give us and the world is not where we need to look for comfort. I didn't realize there were so many people, though, living in the world who are not believers. And if you're not one, or even if you are, go on YouTube and start researching stories on deliverance and testimonies, because it'll make you stop and think, for sure. I found Julia Shalom Jordan. I'll link her channel below. I think I watched every single part of her 8-part testimony story, and that's where I started. And then I made my husband Gary watch it because I had so many questions about her and her story and what she's talking about, because I've never heard of some of these things that could happen in someone's life if they're not living and putting God first. It's just, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, if that's something you're interested in, it can either be entertaining or life-changing.
Curious, when did you know you had feelings for me? Maybe somehow we've always known that.
We've got jalapenos and all the great stuff Gary just got at the store. And he is making my mom's famous, what do you call them? Hungarian hots?
Yep, Italian sausage.
Italian sausage. Wow, Gary.
Thank you.
And Percy's eating again.
Yeah, Percy eating's like it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's smelling all this food, so he's
like,
I'm hungry. I had such trouble finding heavy-duty soap dispensers where when I'm doing the dishes, they're not flailing around everywhere. So I made a special trip to World Market to get these heavy-duty glass hand soap dispensers. And once the hand soap was out, I used it for dish soap. This is much heavier duty. Meanwhile, Gary was making all these amazing appetizers, and I was completely impressed. I don't know where he got this from. Oh, Gary. I don't know why this makes me laugh, but I think I'm just amazed. Let me clean this up a little bit. But here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to put this hand soap.
That's going to be, they're going to love that, by the way.
Good.
Yeah, that was a big score there.
Here. Of course, you can't really see how good it looks because we got such a mess in the background. So I'm going to move all these and figure out a place to put all these tomatoes and everything. Filled this whole thing up with all the wonderful vegetables Big Country and Mandy gave us. We got okra, these peppers. Gary just cooked a whole bunch of them. We got tomatoes, green peppers, jalapenos. We still got some squash to eat back there. So we're gonna be eating a lot of this week. So very exciting. Now I'm just gonna cook broccoli, potatoes, and carrots. This is looking absolutely amazing. So, yum. We sat down for a nice meal out on our patio. We had our sweet neighbors over that night, and it was pepperoni pot roast, potatoes, carrots, broccoli, and all of Gary's wonderful appetizers. All the recipes will be linked down below in the description. I hope your Labor Day weekend is fantastic, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today.